Hello and welcome back to LEGO City Undercover. At the moment, something to notice is that whenever you load a game, you actually start at the police station, not the last place you saved. Which, at this point, is it would be annoying, but it's actually kind of a blessing in disguise. Because it means I can wrap up a few loose ends that I left hanging. So let's finally be able to grab some dynamite, now that we have a costume that can use explosives. Because we have some silver bricks to deal with, that now that we have explosives we can finally deal with, like in every single LEGO game known to man.
That would be amazing.
So here we go, finally we can finish these 5. Final one's right in here, so let's commit a small act of terrorism by bombing a train station so that we can repair their gumball machine. Yeah, that's not going to cause any kind of hassle, is it, Chase?
Yeah.
Then again, I guess it'll be fine because he'll just get tried as a minor. And there we go. After that terrible pun, we unlock the Street Racer and do something a little more reckless. Yes, more reckless than blowing up a train station. I wonder what it could possibly be. Fuck you, driving on the train tracks. Which way? This way. This is a very dumb thing to do not try this at home. But it's something that's necessary for this character at this point in time, because we've unlocked a thing that we can do now that we have the miner. So let's go through the train tunnel, avoid what looks like the wreckage of a train that hasn't finished spawning yet, and come across a few boulders to break. The most ornate one at the end, as you may have guessed, is actually a collectible. Those really pretty boulders, you just destroy the pickaxe and they give you stuff. By which I mean the gold brick. There's 22 of them. Let's just quickly put on the double studs thing again. There we go, because I keep forgetting to do that. And just break these to get a few more of these super bricks as well. And there's another train. Isn't that fun? So let's just follow the train back to the station to bewilder it just a little bit. And then take a quick detour over this way. Chase drives like a madman, but it works. Well, actually this is me driving, but you kind of knew that already, didn't you? So there we go. Let's just repair the playground now that we've blown up a train station. I guess that's karma. That'll balance things out. Chase's job is really confused. He kind of does, as the title may assume, he kind of imply rather, he does kind of everything. He does playground repair, he does terrorism, he mines, he slices, he dices, he mixes. But now we've repaired most of the playground, we just have one more thing to do with that. We have guessed it's in that silver metal crate thing. So let's go grab another stick of dynamite to finally finish that little bit off too. I like the music in the cafe, it's kind of funky. And it helps it feel like an actual cafe as well, because restaurants and cafes tend to have small kind of music playing over them. There's kind of ambience. I do like that there's also a covered part of it that we can't get to. That is actually inside, because it feels much more like an actual business, because they tend to do that, have both outside and inside seating. I do like the little things this game does to try and add some kind of a similitude to its world, even though it's a ridiculous LEGO world of nonsense. It still makes some kind of logical sense despite being a LEGO game, because it's trying to be a real city that functions. So of course, with like a nice restaurant, you'd also have a children's playground nearby for the kids too young to enjoy the restaurant, that kind of stuff, yeah. The layout makes sense, it's also really close to a residential district that's quite nice. It's generally, it feels like an actual suburb because there's the right kind of businesses here that you'd expect. I always like that kind of world design and things, when they try and make things make internal sense. There, we've just built a super build to make things a little easier for me in the future. because now I can just use the police station to show off any new vehicles or character tokens that I unlock, But for now, let's teleport over here, because there's actually something I want to get here. Now that we're done in the main city, we've teleported back via the train and editing to the national park, because not only do we need to be here for the plot, but also there is some more stuff to pick up here as well that I'm just in the middle of trying to do. This is where the platforming can be a bit of a problem, though. It can be a little bit finicky if you try and jump too straight off a ladder, because we'll just try and get back on the ladder and quite get confused. If you have to jump to the side like that to really make it work. So let's collect all these super bricks up here on the train bridge, and also this character token, first Sam pen. I don't know how I stayed on the thing there. It looked like I was about to fall off, but there we go. It's a very strong magnet keeping us on there. So let's head over to this part of the train bridge, because there's something here I want to show off. Well, avoiding getting one over there. That was a close call. It's a nice little mountain, but not much there right now. But for now, let's climb this tree with the happy little climbing things it gave us. Nature! There we go, a few more super bricks, but also, it finally spawned the thing I was looking for. Let's get a closer look, shall we? Oh, this cute little thing. Too close. There we go. Yep, it's a Wiggler from Mario. One of those caterpillar things that gets really annoyed if you jump on it. I think they're called Wigglers. I'm not that big of a Mario guy. But there's a lot of references you may have guessed. Not only that guy, but the block from the previous video, that kind of stuff. And there's a few other things as well. And we'll get that we were supposed to jump into the tree trunk for, but that is really finicky, so you can just scrape against the outside of it to pick it up too. Here is a naturally occurring ramp, which is fairly odd. This was just me checking what it actually went to, because I knew it went to something, because otherwise there's no point for it being there. But yeah, it's just a super brick, so we're just ignoring it for now. So let's head over here to the dojo finally. I mean, I could have grabbed a car and jumped that for the super brick, but why bother right now? That might be something I'll do for a roundup later, but let's just get past here. And one thing I quite like, when you get near to a super build but don't actually build it, it actually does appear on the map, which is quite nice. So you can just look on the map for all the little super build icons and go to each of those. Unfortunately, none of the other collectibles do that, but super builds do, because there's like 65 of the stupid things. They're all over the place, so they kind of need to have some way to remember it for when, because also, unlike most of the collectibles, you have to come back to them if you ever haven't got enough bricks, so it can be easy to forget where some of them exist. So before we go into the dojo to learn how to properly fight, let's explore the outside first, because there's some quite nice stuff here. I like the scenery here, like the cherry blossom trees and everything like that. And these little jump pads get us to these gongs. So, while we're here, well in China. Of course, the odd thing, well, a lot of the decorations around here are trying to be Chinese, like the gongs and everything like that. A lot of the characters you unlock here tend to be Japanese. But it's going for kind of a mix of all different kinds of Asian cultures, so it, yeah. I think generally it's going for mostly Japanese, but with some Chinese in there. But I'm not that well versed in those cultures to be able to tell them apart myself from just a visual. For example, I know that the pagodas and stuff like that tend to be very Japan. But I know there's similar architectural things as well in the other places, so. So let's bring the other two gongs. So what I always find kind of interesting architecturally, though, is that different places seem to have solved the same problem in very different ways. Like, for example, with a lot of different architectural styles, like the Asian pagoda kind of rooftops going on, the temples and pagodas they have, are visually distinct from like anywhere else in the world, as are the kind of domes you get on mosques in the Middle East and stuff like that, and also of course in the more terrestrial areas now that they're being built over here as well, which I quite like. Because while the churches we have are a pretty good example of Gothic architecture, it can get boring when that's all you see. So there's the character token we've unlocked, the Samurai Warrior. Also, a pretty neat thing I found with mosques is they tend to use a very unique kind of golden brick that, well, yellow brick at least, that no other building in England at least uses that I've seen, which gives them a very distinct look, which I quite like. There's my hot takes on multiculturalism. I'm for it because it's architecturally interesting. And just generally interesting in the long run. So, let's get off politics and start the next level. Kung Fu. Straight into the Matrix parodies.
Barry Smith, 24-hour plumber and kung fu guru, unblocking pipes and chakras since 1987. Huh. It's worth a try.
I need to get that open. Wonder if I could use that.
Just a tiny little piece over there.
Here we go. So, of course, we need to get some super bricks so that we can build that dragon statue. That's what's going to be there, sorry. But either way, let's get the bricks together. We can actually already build it, but I wanted to make sure I collected all the super bricks in these areas because it makes certain that we see the entire level and that I can grab a few things on the way as well. Sure, I could be efficient, and well, I could be fast, but it wouldn't feel as efficient. So let's get this done. Break these 5 red bubble things. Not the yellow ones, the red ones, come on. Unfortunately, with the grappling gun you can't multi-target like you can with a lot of guns in these games. Either that or they're just too far away to do that with. I'm not bothering targeting those statues because I don't believe they can be hit from here, the ones holding the ladders up. For now, let's just break these. And then mine through a few of these boulders to see what we can find behind here. A jiggly floor that we can't do anything with yet, so we'll ignore that. Nothing there. These boulders are pretty much just there to get in your way. There's like nothing in here at all. All they do is obfuscate the jiggly floor that we can't do anything with. But here, break that, we can build this hat stand.
Why would they keep hat stands outside?
Of course we know better, but Chase is kind of an idiot.
Be calm.
Break these 3 of these lions, and they will give us 3 hat stands to build.
Another hat stand? Huh. And yet...
And Chase already actually knows how to use these things, so it's kind of weird that he still thinks they're hat stands, but again, he's an idiot. So of course each of these fireworks gives us one of the 4 super bricks that we need to build that thing. Because of course the amount we need is actually 40,000. Of course 4 fireworks, each of them giving a large one of the super bricks, makes the 40,000 we'd need if we came with none. But you'd have to be kind of trying to come with none, really. I mean, it gives you so many bricks all over the place, as long as you're doing a decent amount of exploration, like I've been doing in the videos, so you're pretty much fine. So that's what I was looking for, this detective spot. That's why I was breaking all those boulders to try and find this stupid thing, so we can finally investigate this grassy patch over here. Of, like, garbage. Well, I've just realised I'm meant to be falling leaves, I'm an idiot, but either way, let's put the thing in there. Make another little firework happen, or not. Maybe we'll just blow up a gong and release some dynamite somehow. I don't know how the dynamite doesn't explode, but there we go. So let's finally pull down this ladder, so we can finally actually get on the roof of this building, as we were promised by the promises of the other ladders all over the place here too. Let's make this paper flag thingy. Nothing in it, I couldn't remember if it was something or not. But these ones, these drop the ladders.
Go too fast.
Oh,
Or release this grapple point, which we'll be using later, once we've finished exploring this part of the rooftop.
Martial arts are way easier than the regular ones.
I like how he's not meditating, but just using an easier version of the martial arts. That's pretty cute.
Slowly does it.
I quite like the way these torches spawn. This is pretty neat. With the dragon breathing fire to bring them to life. That's pretty cool. So let's light this little lantern first of all. Let's pick up the Karate Master character token.
Go too fast.
You can see these torches are very
When I
weak.
get out of here, I'm gonna complain to the manufacturers of these torches. They last like 10 seconds.
Same.
Slowly does it.
So,
There we go, our final
all the
hat
hats
stand.
stolen?
Oh, wait! These are wooden practice dummies for karate.
Something I wish this game did a lot more actually was have these optional things be ways of, opportunities for Chase to actually learn something, like realizing what those were, because that's a pretty neat little bit of characterization that while it takes him a bit, he does actually realize what they're actually used for.
Don't go too fast.
That would have been a neat thing if the game did that more often, but it really doesn't. Chase is just kind of generically an idiot throughout most of it. A very nice idiot, and surprisingly worldly, but still kind of an
That
idiot.
torch only just burned long enough for me to get here.
So there we go, let's put that in there too. I like those little firework displays, they're pretty cool. Reminds me of Okami with the getting the bomb and everything. So let's climb up here now.
Be calm.
And go to the right this time, with another torch. Because there are 2 green arrows we didn't do anything with this thing. Here we go, let's light these 2 Catherine wheels. Get the final torch. Torch, firework. Like the weird little pumping thing it does to start up the actual, to prepare to actually launch the firework. It's kind of cute. So yep, time to build the dragon statue.
Dragon! No, 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 no! Not my sculpture! Oh!
Did I say statue? Huh.
Yowzers! And I thought Dunby had bad breath.
Not bad Chase, it's useful breath. If it was bad breath, it would just have smelled like hot sauce and nothing else would have happened. So,
None
here
of
we are
these
inside the
guys look
dojo.
like a berry to me. Maybe there's a
I wonder
bell
how
I
we
have
can
to ring
attract
for
Barry's
service.
attention.
A gong! That's even better than a bell.
Okay, we found it. Let's make a mess.
I'm here to see
Shh! Have a listen to this.
Welcome to Learn Kung Fu While You Sleep. Relax. You are now completely relaxed. The end.
I know Kung Fu.
Show me.
And plumbing?
Maybe I should start you off against a few of my students.
Yes, Barry, that may have been an
Look
idea.
deep within yourself to find your hidden potential, and you will triumph over your enemies. What also helps is throwing them around. Let's see what you can do.
I quite
Chase.
like Barry's very EastEnders plumber kind of aesthetic. He's a very Phil Mitchell kind of guy.
Not bad.
If you don't watch,
Let's try
Phil Mitchell's one of a
numbers.
family that's known for being a family of kind of rough and tumble kind of people.
Even I felt that. You made light work of that, Chase. You might not be so lucky this time.
So of course it kind of makes sense to give him that kind of East London tough kind of
Empty
accent,
your
very kind of
mind,
Jason
as you
Statham.
would a radiator before replacing it.
And yeah, now we can actually counter-attack as well as using judo to throw them around. Now the X is much more interesting, but it's also, for the most part, all we're using, pretty much. I'll try and keep things varied, but there's really not a lot of reasons to use a lot of the abilities, because they're just a lot
Movements must
longer.
flow like water.
Like, for this one, you have to wait until the thing's going on,
I hope you're good at
but even then, it'll be worth doing. Because often grabbing can take just as long, so you have to also throw them as well.
Starts with a single phone call to a travel agent.
Barry, I think you lost that one a little bit.
You're ruthless.
And there's the aforementioned throwing
Try
people
throwing
around
them
thing.
into each other. That's more
Way
like
ahead of you there,
it.
Barry. Yeah, it's being a bit slow with the actual reticle thing, I think.
Oh, another student. It's all right. They enjoy it.
I think the game's got a bit confused trying to spawn like a fourth one to finish off the trick, so I think I took one of them out a bit too early.
Yes.
And then finally he's going to do something, so there we go.
Really hurts a much. Oh, mates.
Trying to throw him into Barry, but that wasn't going to let me, that's a shame. 'Cause that would have been funny.
You'll find the guys dressed in brown a bit tougher.
Yeah, brown are the strong enemies. Physically strong, not healthy. Which means we can't so easily throw them.
Relax. Did you leave the oven on?
So we have to mash A to make it work.
Relax.
Yeah, we have to wrestle them to be able to actually throw them. And if we try to just use the standard
One more round to go, Chase.
blocking kind of a thing with them,
Ooh, that has got to stay.
or if we try and use the standard kind of block, they will actually
Another. Don't worry.
I think I was thinking something else, but there was something they will do in particular, if you just try and throw them, that they will just kind of stand back up again. Like, they will land on their feet a lot of the time. If you try and do one of the moves, that will take out one of the smaller
You
guys,
have
but not
done
them.
well. Take this belt with you as a sign of your skill.
I can't accept this, Barry.
Why? Oh, hello.
I heard Barry once off his right arm, and had to sew it back on with his left arm. So he knows what he's talking about. Wait, there we go. We have finished Kung Fu, and unlocked a few new things. The level's too short for us to have actually got the thing, even with the double studs thing, so we'll have to come back for that, but that's fine. It's only a 2-screen level, what were you really expecting? There's a lot of that second screen we couldn't do. The second screen's actually a lot bigger than it looks. There we go. Now we've unlocked advanced combat, so we can fight much more interestingly than just mashing the X button. Or the Y button, rather. I mean, it will still... Now it'll pretty much come down to mashing X, but I'll try and keep things varied.
Does this have something to do with your favor for Ellie?
Yes! Funny story. I volunteered to pick up the department's new state-of-the-art police truck for its unveiling at the station this afternoon.
Yeah, and you've been hijacked by some criminals, right?
Wow! How did you know? Wait, what number am I thinking of? I'll give you a clue. It's 6.
The truck, Frank?
Oh, yeah. Well, they drove it around for a while, but we've stopped now.
Any idea where you are?
When they were driving, I heard a really loud foghorn, so I think we went past the docks.
Docks, uh-huh.
Then I remember it feeling like we went over a train track.
Train track, okay.
And when we stopped, I looked out the window and saw Krabby Cove.
You! I'll be right there.
Where?
I like that last little bit though, it was just like, YOU! That's pretty funny. Clip the audio there, but there we go. This is a really annoying mission. I actually failed it twice and had to drive all the way back here. Twice. That took so long, I had to cut 13 minutes out of this episode because of that.
Is that you, Chase? Have you come to rescue me?
Shh! Johnny, go fetch the rest of the gang. Tell Mr. Chen we have company.
Ugh.
I think the robbers are still around, so be quiet!
We'll have to keep an eye out for Mr. Chan, but in the meantime, let's take out his underlings. And of course, this time we'll have to arrest them, they won't just run away.
Chase?
Generally, the best way to take the big guys out is to try and do that, trick them into tripping into each other a little bit. And of course, when you take the last guy out, they'll just fade out. But of course, that can't be all we're doing. I mean, we just learned advanced combat. We want to give us room to breathe. So of course, another set of guys spawns in. And of course, if we fail the next part of this mission, we have to do these fights all over again. And also, of course, the enemies will become a lot tougher as the game goes on and require much more advanced combat. But for now, the basic advanced combat we've got is fine. Which means the same moves will be working on them, they just need to be applied harder. So here we go. Finish these guys off. We also have a new mastermind as well. Mr. Chang.
If you drive fast, we can still make the grand unveiling.
I'll settle for getting out of here alive.
And I thought I was unambitious.
This is the part that sucks.
I hope we
This
get back
car,
in
this
time.
truck
I
is
don't wanna
terrible.
let Ellie
It's
down.
One of the
huge,
gang members mentioned someone called Chan.
cumbersome.
Any idea who that is, Frank?
Probably Chan Chuang. He's pretty new to Lego City, but I heard he runs the biggest chop shop in town. I hope they taste nice.
The chop shop is where they dismantle stolen vehicles, Frank.
Oh. I guess I should cancel that reservation then.
I think this Chan's connected to Rex Fury.
Yep, this mission sucks because now we're going to be jostled around by these guys, which we cannot move fast enough, so we have to kind of trick them to run themselves into barriers. And now we have to cross the bridge. This is where I failed twice. The first time was because when I tried to do what I'm about to do here, which was take the 2 jumps I showed off earlier, I landed on my side and couldn't get back up again because the vehicles can't self-right like in Crackdown. And then, the second time, when I tried to go down that little thing, the truck actually got stuck with its head at a weird angle and I couldn't move forwards or backwards, so I had to restart. Like, kind of like that, but it got stuck like that.
The bad guys chasing us. This would be a lot of fun. Woohoo!
But now we are actually past, as soon as we land here safely, we are past the worst part of this entire mission. So now it's just straightforward driving while avoiding these idiots with plenty of parts, because it's a big vehicle, so it's a lot of health going on. Luckily, we never have to drive this stupid thing again after this mission. So we'll no longer waste 13 minutes on one bloody mission with any luck. I mean, there are other vehicles that are particularly bad to do this kind of mission in, but we won't be seeing them till way later on, like optional stuff.
So I can have a nap in the back.
Now, at least most of the bigger vehicles you end up driving in this game, at least while they're still cumbersome, at least a lot more easy to control than this
Looks like
stupid
they
piece
stopped following us.
of garbage.
Good driving. Could you pull over on that corner up ahead, please?
I mean, he decided to step on it one day when he's going to his bedroom.
Do you mind if I drive it from here? I want to show Ellie that I can be trusted.
All right. Enjoy getting your photo in the papers, Frank.
Ha!
I can't wait all day, Marion. I have to reopen the bridge this afternoon.
Where is that truck?
As if I'm interested in fame and fortune. My public!
Ah, here it comes, Mayor Gleason. Right on time.
Here I am with our new truck! Good old Frank Honey delivers again! Coming through!
Honey! Honey!
Out of the way! Sorry, madam. Hi there, Mayor Gleason. Hey, Chief.
Dunby!
Honey! Waffles! What are we doing?
Well, what did you expect to happen with Frank driving it? This is your fault, Marion.
Whoa.
Chase, give me some good news. Have you found Rex Fury?
Well...
How could you find him? I mean, the Chief told you to stay off his case.
Oh, really?
That's not true at all. Is it, Chase?
No?
That's right. I was just about to send him undercover in
Chang Chuang's gang? I think he's linked to Rex.
Yes!
Well, that was broke when I got here.
We'll investigate Chan later. But yep, this marks the end of the first part of the game as I split it up.
Hiding down here?
You betcha. I'm staying as far from Dumby as possible.
And I saw a spider.
I have no idea how we're gonna get out of this mess.
Oh, it's easy. I expect my parents will pay for it. Like usual.
Huh?
You know they're really rich, right? They own that hotel in Paradise Sands.
Oh! It all makes sense now.
Anyway, Chase is going undercover. He'll need new clothes.
Well, congratulations, Chase.
Here we go. We are officially, finally undercover, as the title puts it. That's why I consider this the second part of the game. 6 chapters in. Because now we are actually starting the main plot, now that we can finally investigate Chan Chuang.
I barely recognize you.
Yeah! Who's that strange man in the garage?
Right. I'm off to figure out how to get into Chan's gang. I hope they've reopened the bridge to the main island.
Good luck with that, Chase.
That was Chase?
Yep, now we have the bridge open as well. So we can actually explore the entire rest of Lego Island, now that we have unlocked the undercover part. So yeah, this is the main part of the game from now on. The plot will begin to thicken and thicken and thicken until it reaches quiche level.
Your gang, Mr. Chan.
So, next time, we'll get into Chan's gang. So I will see you next time as we end on a nice round 7.0%. Goodbye.